The video all you've been waiting for, the best is Sony going up against the best OnePlus. So we have the Sony Xperia Premium going up against the OnePlus 5. Both these phones, Snapdragon 835, 4GB of RAM on the Sony, either 6 or 8, crazy amount on the OnePlus. And I think the winner of this video is most likely the fastest phone in the world. Still more testing to do, but very strong possibility. Alright, so OnePlus first one to boot up, extremely fast. Definitely one of the fastest Androids, and you guys see Sony up as well. It's actually thunderstorming outside, so excuse that if you hear it. But want to get the video up for you guys as soon as possible. Alright everyone, so you saw everything closed out. BBC News first. Alright, so slight advance here for Sony. iFunny. Sony. YouTube. OnePlus. Calculator and Clock. Probably am going to retire these apps soon. Alright, eBay. Sony. Photos. You give slight advantage there for OnePlus. Asphalt 8. Now Asphalt 8 should be to Sony by about a second, but we'll see. Yep, Sony here. Sony doing a really good job with the game moding up. Alright, settings. CVS Sports. Very fast in both. Alright, Temple Run 2. This one also should be Sony, but I think it's going to be pretty close. I'm just saying that, guys, because I do a couple practice tests before actually filming. Yeah, so we have Sony here. And guys, trust me, this is going to be a very, very competitive match, especially later on. Modern Combat 5. So both these phones, 5.5 inch screens, 4K on the Sony, 1080p on the OnePlus. And I actually missed which one won, but I will write a comment down there below. Okay, so we have AnTuTu benchmark. Yeah, rain really picking up now. Alright guys, and there was some controversy recently in the news. OnePlus is kind of just cooking the system a little bit. Kind of manipulating the results in some of these benchmarks, but you see 183,000 on OnePlus, 178 on Sony. And as you guys see, OnePlus ranked first. But yeah guys, obviously OnePlus does win AnTuTu, but I would take it with a grain of salt. Alright, Chrome next. So cleared out the web history on both. We're going to go to OnePlus first. OnePlus.net. Okay, so advanced here for Sony. Sony next. Sony. MSN. Slight advantage for Sony. IMDb. Wow, very, very close. Maybe slight advantage for OnePlus. Let's do E3. So just was E3 week. E3.com. Okay, so slight advantage for Sony. Reddit. Again, narrow margin for Sony. And let's do one final one, let's do Zelda. Okay, so that one pretty easily going to OnePlus. And let's revisit some of the sites. So OnePlus. Narrow margin for Sony. Sony. Pretty close. Wow guys, I mean, I think the web browsing on both these best for any phones on the market. Really incredible on both. Oops, actually went to the wrong site there. But yeah, guys, I mean, overall, I think the web history or web browsing, maybe a narrow margin for the Sony, but very close. Yep, that right there pretty much says it all. Alright, guys, let's do camera speed next. Bringing in way armor for this. And it's going to snap a few pictures. Okay, so I think narrow margin there for the OnePlus, but pretty close. Fingerprint scanner next. Now on the Sony, it's right here on the side. And on the OnePlus, in the best placement right here. And guys, spoiler, the OnePlus fingerprint scanner is the best on the market for any phone. Still excellent on the Sony, but guys, there's just no competing here with the OnePlus for the fingerprint scanner. Incredibly fast, accurate, in the best placement. Cannot be beat. But still, guys, Sony, no slouch here. Still very good fingerprint scanner as well. Now, before the final multitasking test, let's go over the specs of both phones. So, both these phones, 5.5-inch screens. 4K on the Sony, only the second phone in the world with 4K screen behind the Sony Xperia Z5 Premium. And 1080p on OnePlus. Now, guys, both these phones, not the smallest bezels, although a little bit larger on the Sony. But also on the Sony dual front-facing speakers. USB-C on both. Both phones do have headphone jacks. And look at the back. Let me just shine this up, guys, because the Sony is really nice looking. Oh yeah, and then front-facing camera, 13 megapixels on the Sony, 16 on the OnePlus. We'll have comparisons of that in the future. Okay, guys, beautiful designs on both these phones. On the Sony, you have a mirror-like finish, and you guys actually see filming this right now with the Sony Xperia XES. Rear-facing camera on both of these, X1 as well. So on the Sony, you have one camera, it's 19 megapixels. On OnePlus, you have two. One of them is 60 megapixels, the other one is 20. Now, internally, you do have micro SD card support on the Sony. You do not on the OnePlus. 64 gigabytes on the Sony, either 64 or 128 on OnePlus. Actually, let me just reverse these because I've had it the opposite way for most of the tests. Battery size, pretty similar, slightly larger on OnePlus, so 3300 on the OnePlus, 3230 on the Sony. Snapdragon 835 on both, 4 GB RAM on the Sony, either 6 or 8 on OnePlus. I do have the 8 GB model. Now the OnePlus is not waterproof, the Sony is. Sony has stereo speakers, OnePlus is not. Stereo front-facing speakers. USB-C on both. And it mostly covers it, but keep in mind, guys, the OnePlus is a few $100 cheaper. Alright, everyone, so multitasking my ass. Now remember, oops, actually pressed that too soon, but remember, guys, 4 GB RAM versus 6 or 8 for OnePlus, and my version is the 8 GB model. Alright, guys, so it looks like that would have went to the OnePlus, BBC News. Very fast on both. Very impressive. Temper on 2. Now this one, it sometimes does reload on OnePlus, which is pretty surprising, but let's see. Alright, this is a great sign, near phone loading the app. YouTube. OnePlus. Asphalt 8. Excellent sign once again, guys, near phone loading. eBay. OnePlus here. Photos. OnePlus. Camera. Modern Combat 5. Okay, so X1 on both of them reconnecting to the server. CBS Sports. Okay, so it is refreshing on the Sony, not on OnePlus. And final one, let's do Chrome. Okay, so this one also going to the OnePlus. So you guys think multitasking excellent on both, but does go to the OnePlus. Alright everyone, now for the final results. So extremely competitive matchup, definitely lived up to the hype. Now both these phones clearly won in certain categories. So the Sony did win the games opening, the apps opening, did win web browsing. Whereas on the OnePlus also won some categories. So did win the multitasking, won the boot up time, fast fingerprint scanner as well. So yeah guys, obviously extremely close matchup. I think it's kind of a toss up, but let me know in the comments if you think one of the phones won. Now both these phones, advantages and disadvantages. I think the biggest advantage for the OnePlus is the price, so $300 cheaper. But on the Sony, you are getting some additional features for the extra money. So you're getting waterproofing, you're getting micro SD card support, you're getting 4K screen. And I think a better camera, but still have to test that out. Overall guys, both these phones, excellent phones, cannot go wrong either way. Now we still have a lot more testing to do between both these phones and all the other phones on the market. So between these guys, I'm going to be doing some camera tests, some battery life tests, and more. And also do have a lot more speed test comparisons to do with actually both of these phones. So if you guys want to check out it in the future, you can subscribe in the top left corner. Or you can watch another video right now, pressing the bottom right. Alright everyone, thanks again for watching.